As you can see here, we use this simple method in order to lit fire. Now, this method is used because of the fact that there's no gas. There's no gas for cooking due to embargo as a result of this horrendous war. Now, it is an awful lot of suffering. People in the Gaza Strip cannot bear such conditions. They really suffer an awful lot of suffering. As you can see here, we gather plastic, cartoons, papers, leather, nylon, papers, and so on and so forth. We gather this garbage in order to be used for fire. Now, what's more worthwhile to be mentioned is the fact that the smell that happens, or the smoke that happens out of this fire, really negatively affects breathing. Now, as we use this method, we inhale this bad smoke. Really, this brings about negative impact upon breathing. We can't breathe normally. There's a negative impact upon breathing. Now, in normal conditions, this method should not have been used. Normally, people use gas for cooking. But here, as you can see, we use this fire in order to cook bread. This is very difficult, and this cooking method is not as easy as one might have thought. Now, quite generally, we collect cartoons, papers, plastic, nylons, and leather in order to be used for cooking. Now, most importantly, here, this electrical device, as you can see here, is used in order to bring in more air. This air enhances fire. This air makes the fire process easy. Now, those methods collected to be used for fire are lit more faster due to the use of air. It's not easy now to cook because of this complicated method. Now, without this electrical device, the use of fire turns out to be very difficult. No one can lit fire quite easily if compared to this method. Now, imagine you have two choices, two options. One option is the use of gas for cooking, and the other primary option, as you can see here, by using simple method in order to lit fire. Now, this method really turns out to be very difficult. Okay, now this happens because of the idea that there's war, and this brings about more suffering. It brings about more stress for people who do the cooking process. Their stress comes out due to the difficulty of using this method from one way. From the other way, the bad smoke that we inhale it, and this actually quite negatively affects breathing. It's not as easy as you might think. Now, most importantly, we consume and waste an awful lot of time when we collect this garbage. Now, the collection process doesn't happen overnight. We must walk miles, we must walk for miles in order to find out such garbage. It is rarely found. It's not as easy as one might have thought. We can't find this garbage quite easily. We need to consume efforts. We need to have further efforts in order for us to be able to find such garbage of papers, cartoons, plastic, and so on, because we need this in order for us to be able to lit fire. As you can see, it is an awful lot of suffering for the most part. And this is our daily routine. We waste time, waste efforts. This has negative impact upon health, as you can see here. Nylon is used in order to lit fire. The use of nylon and this collection of garbage in this place where air is pumped. Once we have air, this actually enhances lighting fire, and now we are really having this tea pot. Now we are making tea. All of you really are invited to join us having a cup of tea. Please, please, now do accept this invitation. We are very glad to invite you for a cup of tea. Let me add a piece of information. This tea lacks sugar. We can't afford to buy sugar because of the fact that buying sugar is expensive due to siege, due to embargo. Products are not allowed in due to war. This is really very negative, really. It negatively affects lives of Gazan people. Now imagine there's an awful lot of suffering. We do really suffer. We can't live normally. Our life is not as normal as that of Europe, Asia, America, and other parts of the world and other continents of the world. Now, for instance, in the Arab world, in the European world, people live normally, but in this area of bereavement, starvation, malnutrition, suffering, lack of food, life really turns out to be very difficult. Now, a reminder that all of you are invited to join us for a cup of tea. We'd be very happy for you really to join us and have this cup of tea. We should wait for a while in order for the tea to be ready, and your cup of tea is really enjoyable with you because of the friendly atmosphere. The value doesn't only come due to having a cup of tea, but the value comes once we join, celebrate, and gather together in order to have a cup of tea. Really, it is a very enjoyable moment meeting friends for a cup of tea. And if you can't attend to have such a cup of tea, we'd be very happy to send it to you by any method we agree upon in advance. Now, the whole atmosphere brings about difficult moments, brings about difficulty and more suffering, as you can see. And let's meet once again. Until then, have a nice day.